Greetings, folks. This is Chet Jack. I've been asked to come here to the Triple Fight podcast once again, and I'm told that I have to deliver some bonus content to you. So that's what you're going to get now. So anyway, a little bit about me. I am a state committee member currently, and I'm running for re-election. And so I've been asked a few questions to answer, and I've got a little sheet here with those on it. So I'm just going to go right through that, if that's okay with you guys. Okay, so they asked me what my name is and where I live. Well, I told you my name already. It's once again Chet Jack, and it's on the ballot as Chester L. Jack. And I live in Cranberry Township. Once again, I'm seeking re-election to the PAGOP. The second question they asked me is, why did you get involved in politics in the first place? And I think what I'm going to answer that a little bit differently, and it's the how I got involved in politics. I've always had an interest in politics. I've always, read a lot about it. I've always listened to news stations to see what's going on in the world, but I never had really been engaged in politics. And my engagement in politics happened actually kind of accidentally. About 6 years ago, I showed up at the polls, and I went to cast my ballot. And I noticed this strange position that I'd never heard before was on the ballot. And it was for a Butler County Republican committeeman. And so I saw that there was no one running on it. So I thought, that's odd that no one's running. Someone should be representing our precinct. So I wrote my name in. And after that, I walked out of the polls. And right then, that's my campaign started for this position. And it was, 4 hours into election day. And so I got on the phone and I called a few neighbors and said, hey, have you been to the polls yet? And ones that said no, I said, well, there's this position on the ballot. And I mentioned what the position was again and said, would you write my name in? And so my campaign concluded 10 minutes after it started. And I went home and forgot about it. And about a month later, I got a call. Evidently, I got enough write-ins, and I got on the committee. So initially, the committee duties were things like working polls and putting signs up and stuff. And I was curious, because I thought there would be more involved. So I started pushing, to get a little bit more involvement, and I started digging deeper on things. And I got more and more involved in politics. And as I started looking around, I realized, what a mess everything was. It was much worse than I thought. And then I realized that, my God, we're on the verge of losing our republic. So I'd better get more deeply involved. So I got involved in a number of organizations. I'm the director of Convention of States now. I'm running a local governance task force here. And I ended up running for state committee last time, and to my surprise, I got. And so that's kind of the how, and that touches on the why. Why I'm so involved in it is because I think that somebody just needs to step up, and I didn't see a lot of people doing that, and I want to make a difference. I love this republic, and I think that it's our duty to preserve it. So that our children and grandchildren can experience the freedoms that we've had. Next question that I've been asked is, what's your concern about the future? And well, there were a couple of famous quotes. One of them was, it's a republic if you can keep it, and you get the government you deserve. And I think on both of those counts, we haven't been doing a very good job. And that we need to improve. And so that's one of the things that I'm working on in my various activities. Our system has been under attack for decades, with people that want to alter, the course of the country away from what the founding fathers' intention was. And I'd like to get it back on course. Many of our, major institutions have been compromised. We're kind of going down this blindly. We're being led down blindly down this path, to our own destruction. And so those are all my concerns, about just the Republic and the Commonwealth. And, I'm trying to do something about them. So the next question that I was asked was, how can you help conservative candidates in Butler County get elected by being on the state committee? Well, first of all, I have a lot of contacts, so I can put candidates in touch with people that can help them out. I've got a fairly broad spectrum of skills, everything from technical skills to people skills, and I can deploy those, and I've been involved in people's campaigns before, and helped them out, with doing pretty much everything that you can imagine. So I get heavily involved, and finally I run a PAC, and my PAC can help them out as well. Let's see. It says, say something interesting about yourself. Well, I believe that, Aaron, this isn't just audio, this is video too, right? I guess I can't say that I wear a funny hat because you see that already and you know it, but so I wear a funny hat. And let's see, what else interesting? Whenever believe it or not, you see I'm a kind of a large guy now. And I just recently found out that the 1977 cross country team that I ran on an IUP is getting inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame there. And I was just delighted because that brought back all these wonderful memories that I haven't thought about for a long time. And I've got a chance to pick up the phone and call some people that I haven't talked to for a long time. And so I look forward to the induction on September 26th, whenever we get to go up there. And I feel extremely humbled by that. What else interesting? I was one of the principal people in bringing up Quicken.com. I imagine most of you have heard of Intuit. Back in the 90s, during the internet bubble years, Intuit was in a little bit of trouble. They had missed the whole ball of wax there, and their stock prices were low. And so they came and bought a startup company that I worked for the engineers. And so I ended up, working for this, going from working for this fairly obscure company to being involved in this project that got reported on in the Wall Street Journal and all the financial trade papers every day. And it was just surreal. It was like, 5 year adrenaline high. Best time I ever had in my life. But anyway, I think that's all the questions that you had. I just want to say that I am delighted that Aaron and Stacy have gotten this Triple Fight podcast off the ground. I think it's great that there's a platform for candidates and for other people to be able to talk to the community. And I look forward to more of the good work they're doing. And with that, I think I'll close. Thank you very much for listening.